Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Taurus for May 2020. If you're new to my channel, I just want to give you a rough idea of how I've laid out the cards. This is for career and finance, again for Taurus May 2020. So what I do is these are the cards that are more specific to the career and finance reading. I do pull a few clarifiers as well, just to flesh out a little more detail in the reading. And then I also have some general cards that are off to the side. I know they're not completely visible, and I have a few others that are toward the bottom from various decks. And these are cards that I use for advice or general energy for, again, the overall gist of May. So just at a glimpse, what I am seeing here is that there is energies coming through that overall the month of May is looking really good. There is some conflict toward the end of May, which might relate to relationships or something on the home front. But you know, but it's definitely that you're getting past it. There might be some sharp words because I do see that there are some swords in this reading. But generally, overall, you're focused on the money. You're focused on some creative pursuits here, and you're getting back to the task at hand. And I do feel it is moving ahead in a pretty strong way. So I do feel that the start of the month, there is some overall anxiety for the month of May here that you're walking away from. You might be there might be some residual defensiveness, that kind of thing. But overall, I'm also pulling out that I get the feeling that there is some sense of children that maybe this conflict is in relation to here. You do have a few pages, granted they are clarifiers, but there's a few pages coming through, and as well some knights and kings. So I feel there's some people that are relevant to, you know, the outcome of your interactions here, perhaps around the conflict for the month of May. But overall, everything's looking really good. You're getting back on track. Money is definitely moving forward. You've got some collaboration, and overall, I feel that you're actually looking good in that people are starting to come forward out of the woodwork. They want to be around you. They want to be around your energy. I feel that you're more popular at this time in the month of May. Just somehow people are drawn to you more so in the month of May. So clearly your energy has changed. So whatever you might have been going through, which I feel might have been some sense of overwhelm, you are now redirecting or shifting your perspective. Okay, so getting into the reading itself. Okay, so the general energies of the star is, again, hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. So again, that's a general energy for the month of May. And that card really speaks to you, again, you know, having endured quite a bit of life's challenges, whatever that is for you, you know, over this, it could have been over the past year, over the past 6 months, but I feel it's actually probably more recent that you faced some difficulties and that you just felt a little uninspired or hopeless, or you just weren't very motivated. Something about, you know, it could even be feelings of jealousy or suffering of some sort that went on. But either way, there was a battling of some negativity and some feelings, things that just didn't give you hope and optimism, which you are now returning to for the month of May. So again, there is renewed hope, optimism, and enthusiasm, and you're having a shift in your perspective, which is allowing you to move forward. In terms of, again, general energies, in terms of personal relationships, I feel that there's been an emphasis on your healing, both spiritually and, you know, intuitively, you know, using that to help you to get past some negative feelings. So I feel that, you know, it's bringing a renewed sense of sparkle or energy to your aura, you know, and that's what's helping you to attract these things to you, whether it's people. And again, I feel finance and those kinds of things are also coming through here for the month of May. So money, I feel, is starting to trickle through again. But it's also about wishes coming true, you know, with that card, the star card. So it's also, in terms of relationships, it's about positive opportunities in love that are coming in. And, you know, whether it's a new life partner or, you know, revamping or renewing the energy of your previous or existing partnership. There's some kind of loyalty and friendship, all of that comes through with the Star card. So in reference to career and money, the Star card emphasizes, that you're getting more satisfaction, more pats on the back, more recognition, for a job well done. There's some reward, there's some celebration, you're feeling proud of your achievements, or you will be here in the near future. This card, as I say, is just a general energy. Sometimes they can overlap into the coming months. It doesn't necessarily start on the date of May 1st and end on, May 30th or the 15th or whatever. But there's always a residual that carries into from previous months and into, the next months. But overall, I do feel that there is some kind of reward for achievements, and there's some money gains, and there's a reason for that celebration is those money gains. And I feel that your self-esteem is starting to return to a higher level, that you feel that you're actually kind of moving up in some way. Whatever moving up means to you, feeling that you're being recognized may be enough, or maybe that there is some kind of a career shift. But either way, you're in more demand. People are coming to you. There's more focus on you, and overall good energy for the month of May. And again, it could overlap a little bit into the coming months here, but consider this a window of energy or a portal where you're given a bit of a spotlight to take advantage of. So the owl energy is one that says there are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. So I'll just bring that card forward here. And again, that was a general energy card. And this card here, owls are associated with knowledge as well. So it does indicate that there is universal protection. Spirit is coming through. It's like an angel card that's looking out for you. And again, it's whatever angels mean to you. Sylvia Brown describes the afterlife in terms of, spirit coming through. We're all assigned a spiritual advisor of sorts that helps us to glean insight and to overcome obstacles. And if we're intuitively receptive to that guidance, life's obstacles or challenges are less of a hurdle for us to overcome, because we're being guided. And it's like going through a maze. You are running up against less walls and a little more direct to the route. So she also made mention as well, as in terms of those that pass over, that are angels to us, that when we ask for their advice or their guidance, we do need to be specific, but it also means that they are present and that they are available to assist us during difficult periods. So if you ever felt that you needed to reach out, not just to spirit, God, angels, but also to your to those that have passed on, this is a time to be aware that you have access to those. They're always listening. They respond to your energy versus what you're seeing. It's more about what you're feeling. So anyway, again, it's just a little bit of insight. So, I mean, because there is some conflict toward the end of May, I just felt I would throw that out there, that when you can foresee some issues coming, it's just wise to try to find alternate ways to cope or deal or challenge obstacles. Not always a head-on approach is necessary. Okay, so anyway, owl is indicating that there is universal protection. So again, that could be your angels, your spirit guides, but again, you need to be specific with your guides and with your angels and those that have passed on, because when you ask questions like, can you hear me? The answer may come back to you that yes, they can hear you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a problem resolved. You have to let them know specifically what you want them to do. They can't just intervene without your authorization. There are governing rules around the spirit world as well as our physical dimension, and according to Sylvia Brown. Okay, so anyway, universal protection is what that card is coming through as, and it is about following your intuition, and that you might need some kind of a counsel, in terms of, again, spirit guiding you, because it can represent a crossroad, because there are some changes ahead. I do feel that there is a lot of new study or teaching or something with wisdom coming through here for the month of May. So you're probably starting some kind of new projects as well, new learning alongside existing projects. But again, it is you being protective of your family, and again, you're in more demand, you're more popular with this card as well. So again, it's just there's an overlap of all of that. And I mean, just in a quick glimpse here too, the Three of Pentacles below, as part of the outcome cards, is also about collaboration as well. So again, you're engaging other people to move ahead with your goals or dreams or aspirations for the month of May. In terms of personal relationships, the Owl card really is speaking to becoming involved and helping other people. So, and because you're so focused with family and because of the quarantine, I suppose it might be a little more directed toward family, although that's not to say that you're not online and communicating with other people and able to aid them or give them advice or, direct them to resources or whatever on some other front. But it's about you being deeply intuitive at this time, and there's a lot of intensity. You're receiving a lot more messages that are coming through dreams. You might be hearing things in terms of, following your inner voice, which is really spirit intuition coming through to help you. It's just about that capacity to see beyond false things. So you're able to look at something and identify if it's really in your best interest to go forward. In terms of career and money, it is about that thirst for knowledge. You're craving to have a greater understanding. And again, maybe even a career move or to be more independent on a self-employment front. But either way, there's some healthier ways of moving ahead and living now. You might even be introducing new exercise plans, given our isolation. But I feel that overall there is some kind of newness coming through there, new study, new learning. So maybe you're immersing yourself in some new plan of diet and exercise. But either way, whatever that new learning is, you will be successful. And it's just a time to it is a time that you'll be generating some new income based on, as I mentioned earlier, it's extra sources of income that might be coming through because of a new job or some kind of new employment business opportunity from self-employment. But either way, there's some kind of new extra source of income, something along that line, where there's an improvement to your money. So it's allowing you to live in a little more, just allowing you to live in a happier, healthier way overall. Okay, so moving on from that, I'll leave the advice cards toward the end. And I will go to the Impressionists Tarot. These two cards, I really like this deck, more so because I find, it's artistic in nature, but I feel that it also is quite inspirational. So that first card of the Impressionist Tarot it's the High Priestess, or it's the equivalent of the High Priestess in the Rider-Waite deck. So I'll just hold it up here again so you have a glimpse. But this one I'll read from the actual book itself because it's just a little more detailed, and I just don't want to miss anything from it that could be something that you pick up that has more meaning for you. But anyway, okay, so again, this card is the High Priestess in the traditional deck. Each deck has a different meaning as well. So even though there's some overlap, again, this card is relating to that. So it's very subtle. It's a very knowing, naive, Tahitian Eve is what Paul Gauguin, who is the artist, writes, he says, the riddle hiding in the depth of her childlike eyes is still incommunicable to me. So on first impression, initially the High Priestess is that picture of innocence, but if you look again, you'll see that there's an old soul here. So this is keeping this person eternally young, and it's also somebody who is cradled by the moon, but also quite virginal. So it is a symbol of pregnancy and motherhood. And Paul Gauguin, he called this the woman with a flower in 1891. Gauguin saw her as an exotic Tahitian Eve. She was beautiful, all her traits combined in a Raphael-esque harmony by the meeting of her curves, her mouth, the way things were sculpted, and also that she had all of that joy and suffering combined in her eyes. There was fear and desire for the unknown, the melancholy of bitter experience, which lies at the root of all pleasure, the involuntary and sovereign feeling of being a mistress of herself. Such creatures seem to submit to us when they give themselves to us, yet it is only to themselves that they will submit. In them resides a force which has to be something superhuman or something divinely animal. So this is the Queen of Reflection, intuition, and divination. And while her moods ebb and flow, there is a lot of enduring spiritual wisdom with this card. So it is where the moon rules Cancer, of course, and this is the watery sign. So maybe this represents also somebody coming through either as yourself or someone in your sphere, but the High Priestess is a gatekeeper and it's a guardian of sacred mystery. So it's somebody who, has a confidant or a guide or is acting as one, behaving as one. But either way, it's the cycles of life that you're experiencing currently, which are natural for the month of May. It's about those and predictable, completely predictable, because they are mysteries, secrets, wisdom, intuition, and second sight. It's all the natural part of the mysteries of life unraveling. So I feel that maybe you're either exploring something in the line of the divine, or just going more inward spiritually, or it could be that you are starting to unravel some of your own mysteries. But again, it just speaks to some energy that is maybe not quite at the surface yet. So there's still a lot of hidden meaning behind things at this time for the month of May. The Seven of Swords is another card, again from the Impressionist Tarot. This is a card where it's a man of passion, capable and certainly able to do more or less. But the problem is that it says it's a farmer who trudges through a barren field, and he's dressed for the cold in a canvas coat and ear flap, and his hands are bare, and his pants are tucked into his boots. And he carries 7 swords over his shoulder, and they're heavy. And he stooped under this effort, and he probably won't appreciate the sun until it sets. And so he makes the same dusky journey back home. So Vincent van Gogh painted this as the morning going out to work in 1890 after the millet. So for years, Van Gogh had planned to copy a series of, I mispronounced this, I apologize, Jean-Francois Millet's paintings called The 4 Hours of the Day. It's a progression of works that chronicled the peasant life. So Vincent van Gogh did feel that he actually painted these when he was in the asylum at Saint Remy, and he described working on Millet's drawings and wood engravings that he didn't consider them copying in the strict sense of the word. It was rather a translation into another language, the language of paints, of impressions created by the black and white, light and shadow. So this is a man who is forced to do the work of many without the promise of fortune or fame. And I feel this might be where you're coming from as well for the month of May. You are engaging in a lot of projects. I feel that you, even prior to this, were taking on the heavy weight. I don't want to say burden necessarily, because when we do for others, sometimes it's a labor of love. But I feel that with that overwhelm, you didn't necessarily feel that there was a reward at hand, but sometimes, again, the reward is in the work itself. So the Seven of Swords describes the work that begins or ends in darkness. It can refer to a secret mission that goes unrewarded, or one that leads to infamy and disgrace. So it's the struggle, it's the exertion, it's the effort, the toil. And again, maybe that's also relating to that hidden mission of the High Priestess. So even though you're not getting the reward that you had expected on one level, you were gaining reward for the work just in itself. I'm not really quite sure how that will unfold here yet. So let's just leave those for the moment. I'm going to read further on with the other cards. So as far as I'll get to the Witch's Tarot at the end here as well. But as far as the other cards go, this is just the Rider-Waite deck, which again, I just find I love the imagery as well, but it's a very clear-cut deck. I feel that but it's open to a lot of different interpretation as well. It starts out for the month of May, again, with some kind of a decision, but you are working through some kind of difficulty. So with the Seven of Cups, this is definitely an energy that there's a lot of anxiety or a lot of choices to be had here. I feel for you it's related to choices because it is clarified by the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords speaks to making a choice, being stagnant, or having a decision to, like I said, to make because there may be too many choices that you can't decide which direction to go. But either way, you are, with the Eight of Cups, walking away from those difficulties. So, so again, just to reiterate, the Cups is really about emotional energy, but it's also about having a lot of choices. And I also want to mention that you have several sevens in this reading, because there was also, I am using another deck here as well. And with, as I said, that's the Witch's Tarot, which also has the Seven of Cups. And this is also speaking, that deck's more, gears the cards, the Seven Cups, toward not just having lots of choice, but also each choice kind of represents a specific cup. Could be home and family, another relating to money, and each cup also represents a lesson that has to go with that challenge. There's always a challenge with whatever option you choose. So as far as the number sevens go, period, that represents, kind of going through a period of soul searching and pulling back. And I'm just taking a look here because, again, if we've got two sevens, which can also represent something relating around love. When there's two sevens in a reading, again, I don't go through a lot of relationship elements just because I feel that they really should be given their own special attention. And in this reading, because finances generally have a lot of overlap to many relationships, whether it's on the business front, friendship, family, and personal relationships, I touch on it, but I don't go through a lot of detail with it. So again, what I feel with the sevens is just that there might be something coming through in relation to the love front, because again, there was conflict toward the end of the month, and even though there was a win for you. Okay, so anyway, back to the Seven of Cups. Cups deals with emotion. You have more Pentacles, I feel, in this reading, and there's a lot of major arcana, so there's a lot of areas where it's magnifying some big events that are happening for the month of May. So with the Seven of Cups, again, I felt that it represented some anxiety, a decision that had to be made. I feel that there's also some small gains in finance that will be coming through for the month of May. Definitely that increase will come through and flow through more readily. But when you see a lot of seven, or when you see the Seven of Cups, I mean, the card generally, as I say, indicates that, in terms of feelings, it can represent, I don't know what I want, I don't know what to do. You're just not sure which direction to take. But with the Witch's Tarot, there's the Page of Swords coming through, meaning that you're getting some sense of clarity that's coming through. And with the Four of Cups, again, lots of cups and emotional energy here coming through. But with the Four of Cups, you may not actually see that you have, you've got some opportunities here, but you feel like you're missing some opportunities. And it is a card of no clear answer just yet, in the beginning of the month, but you are moving towards some kind of a decision. You are getting some clarity. You are going through that period of introspection with those cards. But either way, I feel that you could be just being a little bit stubborn here toward the beginning, again, of May. But either way, I do feel you are gaining some focus. So maybe I'll just leave it at that. Just trying to get an overall sense in looking at the rest of the cards here. But either way, I feel that there's secondary income of some sort that's also coming through. So with the Eight of Pentacles, again, Pentacles are talking about money, getting, money's coming through, it's that grounded energy. But this is about training for a new skill or getting back to task with current skills. So I feel that it feels like it's a bit of both for me with you. I feel that you're starting to pay attention to the details with this card. I feel that there is, you're enjoying your employment. I think you're enjoying this secondary income that you're trying to generate. There is some discipline toward it. You're concentrating all your attention on it. I feel that you're expanding your knowledge, so there's something new, some kind of new learning that's coming through with it as well. But again, the month of May is definitely the time to focus on, getting a business started, because there's like an energy portal that's coming through where you're getting attention, where you're getting energy and momentum coming through, and that's when you want to take advantage of those little peaks. So again, in terms of money, there's nothing really to worry about here. You're focused on your goals and you're trying to finish a job, and you are definitely moving ahead here with the Eight of Pentacles. You're just getting right back to task. You're standing in your power. You're being strong and able to become highly skilled and proficient in whatever it is that you're aiming for here. Because, as I say, I feel it's a collaborative effort, so I feel that you're gaining this insight because you are getting some sense of direction outside of yourself that may be helping you to learn this new. Maybe you've got a mentor, somebody who's helping to guide you. But either way, you are relying on your endurance and your personal power to build your life for the better here. So again, it's in terms of health, it's definitely a good sense of recovery, whether that's spiritual, mental, or physical, but it's definitely that you are moving ahead, you're feeling more empowered, you're taking courage and going forward. It's about persevering, and it is a protection card as well. Again, because you had the High Priestess as the overall energy for the month, I also noticed that you have the Moon card here. So the Moon card also speaks to a lot of that hidden energy. Things not quite, sometimes it's difficult to make a decision when you haven't quite had everything revealed to you. And that's really what the Moon speaks to. It could also indicate that you have a lot of your own biases or restrictions or negative energy or something that you're still, that's holding you back here. In the beginning months of May. I mean, you're getting back to task, but there's something that's not yet revealed for you to be able to maybe make that decision and jump right in. So there's, possibly a little hesitation here with that Moon card. But again, I mean, the Moon is there to illuminate some of those darker areas of ourselves. So nothing to be concerned about. I feel that you're still able to move ahead here. It is clarified by the Three of Wands. But again, maybe it's anxiety or insecurity about moving ahead on a project. But it can be just, as I say, insecurities or something along that line that's holding you back, or a little bit of confusion, where you still haven't got everything at the forefront. It can also speak to, keeping your eye on the goal as well. But either way, there's something that needs to materialize for you to be able to see the full picture. And again, with the Three of Wands, wands are all about action, and usually a fast-paced action, although I don't see a lot of wands in here. But with the Three of Wands, and you do have a progression because you've got the Two of Wands here and the Three of Wands, so definitely, there's a lot of impact coming through here for the month of May, that speak to you being able to take action. But I feel with the Three of Wands and the Moon card combined, there's some, maybe about the, still in that first week, maybe into the second week of May, I do feel there's a little bit of hesitation here. There's a bit of a waiting period, and not sure if that's because you're too anxious or cautious about moving forward. It is also a highly creative card, and it does, speak to normally rapid expansion and growth. But with that Moon card, I feel that you're stepping back a little bit here. You're not just charging ahead. And it could even speak to travel, or that there's a discussion of travel plans, because there is the World card, which also speaks to the end of an old cycle, but it can also be in reference to travel. So maybe there's some thoughts of travel, even though I know that there's, a ban on a lot of that stuff right at this time. But I feel that this is something that you think about, ideas you entertain, about making plans, to maybe take some kind of vacation as soon as you are able. But either way, again, I just feel that there's a bit of a delay or a hesitation here. So, and you're kind of operating a little more solitary. You're not quite expanding and what's the word I'm looking for? You're not quite collaborating. You're not quite getting out there just yet. So maybe in that first week, you're just kind of getting back on task and trying to get things done or started again. But you're looking back before you go ahead. And again, just feel there's a bit of a waiting period here. And as well, especially too, because you do have the Four of Swords. And again, with the World card, there is an end of an old cycle that's coming through here. So it's great that you're able to start. You've got universal help. The divine is coming through here as well as through here. You've got lots of cards speaking to being guided. But with the World card here, as I said, it's still a good sign in terms of money. You're still getting some rewards for work. There's triumph, there's acclaim, things that you can look forward to. But I feel more specifically this, because of the cards that are surrounding it, that this is related to you pulling back. You're still in that first week of May. You're just still in solitude of some sort, and you kind of redefining what your next steps will be. That you are trying to accomplish something. I do feel that you're not going cold, but I feel that there is an end to the old way. There's a new cycle that's beginning. With the Four of Swords, again, you're just up in your head here. There's a lot of mental energy that's going out. You're wanting to still be alone here with this ending of a cycle, and you're just slowing down. There's a slowdown again. There's a slowdown. There's a wait. It's probably in that first, week to middle of May, where you just might be feeling that there's some overwhelm in your life, and you just need to rest for a little bit before you get back out there. You just might be feeling a little bit drained and exhausted. But with the Page of Pentacles, and maybe it was in relation to some illness, but again, there's recovery there. So with the Page of Pentacles, pages again are about, messages coming through, and it's really about, that new knowledge, that new learning, something that's still where you're still trying to get yourself committed, getting practical, reliable kind of person. Could also represent yourself or another energy around you. But it's really somebody who who's had the time to reflect and is now, getting back on track, setting the wheels in motion, taking that realistic approach to move forward regarding money matters, and new beginnings. There's a motivation now to learn and grow, and could be an Aries, Taurus, Gemini energy as well coming through with that card. But again, it's just about making your dreams a reality here. So something to also consider in terms of pages, because it seemed to me that, I'm just checking again here, because it seemed to me there was more than, yeah, you've got the Page of Pentacles here again. There's a lot of repeat cards here. So with the Witch's Tarot, there's also the Page of Pentacles here. And again, you've got the Page of Pentacles here, although it is a clarifier. But when you've got two pages, you know, there's some kind of lack of structure and planning. So maybe that's where you're at. You know, you want to get back to the task at hand. You had some decisions to make. You've maybe been pulled back for some time, and you're wanting to move forward now and actually make plans and create some structure. But with the Page of Pentacles, it is, you know, teaching you kind of about regrounding yourself again and knowing your worth. And so, you know, so you're able to move ahead. But all pages are, you know, a blessing, really. It's new learning. It's things to look forward to. And when you can go from a page to a king, you know, this is about growing mentally stronger. And I do see that you have several stages of that. You know, you go, there's knights, which were clarified by the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. And then, sorry, that's not coming through super clear. And then we also have the King of Wands. I do feel some of these are more energy of people that are coming through. But for the moment, that's where we're at. So new learning, pulling away for a little bit, trying to recalibrate, figure out how to move and plan. So the next card is the King of Swords. So again, the Swords energy is, you know, an action energy, and for sure it can represent an individual around you. That could be a lawyer, some kind of figure of authority, somebody who's realistic and rational, has some pretty high standards, very principled, headstrong, opinionated, that kind of thing. Could represent, again, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. And this is about somebody who, you know, in terms of a situation, needs to set boundaries or take control, and they're making a firm commitment to goals here. So this could be yourself, or again, it could be the energy of someone around you that is this deep thinker. This is this mature, authoritative person. It can also speak to legal structures coming through, but again, I don't really see any other cards more specific to that, like the Emperor or anything that's surrounding it. But I do feel it is an energy of a person, or, you know, you becoming just more responsible to yourself in terms of taking control of your life again and setting up new boundaries for what you need to do to move ahead. But it's a deep thinker here as well. So we also have the Ten of Pentacles, which is definitely, you know, bearer of good news. Ten of Pentacles is a card of, you know, achieving some real wealth here. Again, I feel that you're still kind of struggling with some of the planning. Not that you haven't been planning, because I feel that the cards go from 8, and then there's the 9, which is a card of independence, to the 10. And I feel these are all cards, it's progression for sure, but I feel that you've already made plans in the past regarding some of your structure, and how you were going to implement the plan. But I think you pulled away from that for a while, redirected your energies in other ways, and now you're trying to get back on task and start with the planning again. So it's not that you're going cold, but I think you had to maybe reinvent the plan a little bit. And so that's what's happening here with the structure as well, but also with the Ten of Pentacles coming through. You know, whatever your plan is going to bring some really good rewards for you financially. So it is about you enjoying the good life here. You know, this is about leaving a legacy. So something that you've started, you know, is really something that you can enjoy and live your life comfortably doing. You know, it's a card of, could be inherited wealth as well, but it is basically security in your family unit, you know, and it is about being able to connect. Strong soul connections are happening at this time with that card. So again, The Ten of Pentacles, excellent card. Great family connections, all of that starting to come through. The Nine of Wands following that is a defensive card. You know, one, the person's feeling a little bit, still feeling some kind of anxiety. That's nines are still all about action, so you're still taking action. It's nothing that's going to hold you back here. But the Nine of Wands does speak to you're preparing, you're getting ready to act here. You're getting ready to move on. You might be a little bit cautious. You probably have some trust issues or something that you're dealing with there, but you're persevering despite whatever those adversities are. You're going to continue to protect yourself and push through it, but it is also a protection card of sorts as well. But you're also developing an inner sense of awareness here, and you're maintaining some boundaries with the Nine of Wands. So moving on to the Star card, and again, another repeat. You had this at the very beginning as well, but the Star card it's a happy card. It's an illuminating card. You know, it's letting you know that you are moving to a place. It's highlighting the next card, which is the card of independence. It's highlighting that you're getting everything back. So whatever might have been lost or you struggled with, you're getting in touch with that universal energy again. It's the North Star. It is that optimistic card of, you know, reaching for the stars, dreams becoming reality, you know, your hopes and wishes are fulfilled. Here it is the muse, you know, ideas, inspiration, motivation, things are starting to come through with this card. Again, it can speak to a bit of a windfall of some sort coming through with the Ten of Pentacles. Normally with the Eight of Pentacles, that's all about, you know, hard working effort, that kind of thing. You do have the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles in the Witch deck, which indicate that, you know, it's kind of a slower moving energy, but something that you might have some knowledge of in the month of May is letting you know that there is something more that is bigger that's to come to you. So in terms of finance, but again, the card is representative of that realization of a dream. You know, again, following the North Star, it's inspiration, it's artistic. It's about keeping hope alive here. And again, it can also speak to windfall of money of some sort that's coming through, because you do have a lot of pentacles in here. Again, there's still some structure, you know, and you working on things, and the end of an old cycle, you know, that something that might have been a hardship for you is now bringing you to a place of financial reward and gain. So in terms of love, I mean, it could speak to someone who makes us also feel like, you know, they believe in us, you know, and that it can also, you know, indicate that you're letting go of some baggage here, you know, and there's that rekindling of of that relationship again. But either way, you know, it definitely is a card of recognition and inspiration, just a really hopeful card, you know, that you're being taken care of and that you're protected here as well and divinely led. With, again, the Nine of Pentacles, you know, I feel that your enthusiasm is really starting to pick up as well toward the end of May. That Nine of Pentacles is, again, a card of independence. So, and there is a progression from the 9 to the 10. The 8, 9, and 10. So definitely it is something that's earned. I feel that this card can indicate that there's some kind of job promotion or, again, mastery or more money that's coming through that you didn't anticipate. It's, again, windfall of money coming through. So really strong feeling that there is some kind of unexpected monies that are coming your way here for the month of May. But you are self-reliant with this card as well. There's some kind of mission that's been accomplished. And with the Nine of Pentacles, you know, again, it's just you feeling confident here. You know, it is about, you know, you're liking that that independence. You're liking the recognition. You know, you're feeling pleased that even though you like to be alone to a degree, you know, and working on your creative projects, this kind of thing, I feel that there's an inner sense of security that's coming through here, and that you are a very independent person. And again, even though you enjoy to be alone, you're not afraid to just be yourself here. you know, with the Nine of Pentacles. So moving on past that, we're at the end of the month for May. And again, this is just about, there's some kind of hard-won victory here. So there is a conflict around it. So there's going to be some arguments, some harsh words, things that might be said on that line. With the Tower moment also following that, these are all clarifying that Five of Swords. So again, I should mention, you know, the fives are really about communication and opening up, and I feel that that's restricted for you with the Three of Swords. So there is a need for you to open up and communicate what it is that you need to say, but I feel that there is some harsh words, or it could be jealousy, or it could be, you know, some kind of something that's throwing off the balance here. You know, as I said, conflict or difficulty, anger, quarrels, maybe fear of success, or something that you're not quite ready for, but something that is changing your course is what's happening here. So at the end of May, there's something that's changing your direction. You know, you're feeling that you might be a little bit hurt by others at the end of May here. But again, how you approach things, you know, and communicate can be quite useful, because you can either break down your alliance with this person, or these groups of people, or this partnership in business, or whatever it is. You can either break those relationships down, or you can try to negotiate some kind of middle point, and both of you may be taking a little bit of a loss here, you know, agree to disagree, that kind of thing. But it's some kind of heartbreak here, and there's some harsh words, some angry words. Could be a little bit of a separation, not necessarily a marital separation in the sense of a complete end, but unable to seek balance. You know, maybe the two of you are giving each other a lot of space here, because again, the Tower moment also speaks to some difficulty there, and you know, just that there's a destruction of some old way of doing something, you know, and which can also bring about, again, that revelation, that, you know, rethinking that the belief system and the way things were structured before, which clearly wasn't working. So that's to your advantage to have that a little bit of disruption. I mean, we only grow and expand from things that are obstacles and challenges in our way. But again, asking for assistance from the guides, or from your angels, or from your spirit, or God, or, you know, your loved ones that have passed on, can really help to clear up some of the confusion, and give you some breakthroughs. But either way, you know, there's some sense of insecurity here. I feel it could even be coming through in terms of someone else. So maybe this is something that related to someone else, which threw off your balance. But either way, it's some kind of confrontation. There is the Two of Wands, again, that clarifies that. So even though there was a breaking down of sorts and some harsh words, and again, stepping back to consider what you say before you say it can really minimize the damage. But with the Two of Wands here, it's a positive card. You know, it's a card of just be patient. You know, you're making your way through a difficult time. There's good news on the forefront. It can represent a new job. It can also represent power struggles. And again, I feel that's what's happening. It's what's probably related to either a relationship, or with children, or something along that line. But there's some kind of power struggle that's going on toward the end of May. Maybe somebody's trying to exert some influence over you and persuade you, and it's not in a direction you're ready to take or show up in that way. But again, it's a part of life's cycle. Don't look upon challenges like this as a bad thing. You know, that anxiety is really just calling attention to some issues that might have been building, and it's just a little bit of a space for you to air and vent, and then get past it, rather than wait till something is a really big problem and then you're thrown a curveball and it completely changes life in a way that may be irreparable. But I don't feel that's what's happening for you. I just feel there's a little bit of a glitch at the end of the month there. So again, bit of a power struggle. Moving on, I do tend to be a little long-winded. So with the Witches Tarot, I'll just hold up these cards because again, I know they're not visible. With that Seven of Cups, and again, you had several sevens here as well. And I did feel that it was something that was a little more related to love on that front. That you were gaining some kind of clarity here with the Page of Swords. Pages again coming through with messages. But anyway, you're working with things around you are actually working for you. So, you know, even though you feel like things are working against you, it's actually working to your benefit is what's happening here with the Seven of Cups. So it is about those new beginnings, growth and opportunities. And with the Seven of Cups, it also speaks to kind of gathering all your information up here. And it's a good luck card. It's an opportunity. It's something that is coming through to work in your favor. So again, Seven of Cups is still it can be a really positive card based on your choices here. So I guess maybe good luck is maybe too strong a word. I would really say it's just about, you know, you having an opportunity to create your next learning lesson. So it's your choices. It's about you opening up with communication. It's, you know, it can also speak to, you know, another cup that represents you going deeper and relying on your psychic gifts, you know, sharpening your intellect, you know, just making a choice basically, enable for you to move ahead and get past whatever difficulties you're confronted with for the month of May. And again, you know, there's another cup again, as I mentioned, that was the chance to offer you stability and comfort, home, things about transformation are all part of those cups. Okay, moving on to the Wheel of the Year. And that would be really the card of good fortune. So that's the one that was about good luck and working with the energies around you. You know, the cycles of spring and energy and excitement and, you know, things bountiful, you know, lots of vibrancy and transforming energy here. And with the King of Wands, there's a lot of inspiration that's coming through here as well, but also could represent an energy of yourself, the King of Wands. But I feel with the King of Wands, I do feel it's actually more in relation to a person. So there is some good luck or something that's coming through that is related to a person who could be like a super dad, you know, that mover, shaker, that person who's charming and outgoing and energetic and generous. Again, it could also be a mentor that's coming through for you, or you are the mentor, but it's enthusiasm and artistic expression and creativity. That is who the King of Wands is. So, you know, again, if we're talking about a person, it's about somebody who's faithful and dependable and, you know, really has, and not only has, but feels comfortable in the energy of doing for others and taking a lot of activities and responsibility at once. The person may be, you know, frustrated and get annoyed and so on, you know, and works on and has some difficulty holding their temper, but overall this is somebody who is, you know, quite a mover and shaker. Does represent a Leo energy, doesn't have to be, but just the characteristics of somebody who represents that energy. We did talk about the Page of Pentacles, and again, it was about messages coming through, with the Knight of Pentacles following that, so that was about the news. So it is, you know, you are also focusing on, and again, this is a different deck from the Rider-Waite, but the Page of Pentacles speaks to getting back to nature, being patient, time of study, time to focus, you know, your enthusiasm. There's success coming through with this card. It's also somebody who's a bit of a fixer, somebody who is very practical in their work, you know, but enthusiastic and just gets absorbed in studies. But again, it can also be a message that's coming through that was clarified with the Knight of Pentacles. So, and again, the Knight of Pentacles is, you know, slower moving energy, doesn't, not leaps and bounds, but it does could speak to a person, somebody who's a little more mysterious, dark complexion, eyes, compassionate, dependable, faithful, hardworking, practical, that kind of thing. But overall, Knights are movements, cards of movement. So it is about moving ahead, dealing with challenges, some quiet victories, down to earth practicality, and stamina and responsibility, and just basically dealing with life's challenges. And it's a Virgo energy here too with the Knight of Pentacles. So I do feel that that's just a message, not so much about a person in that respect. I feel it's really somebody who is, just coming through, or sorry, not a person, but I feel it's just the situational. It's just about getting down to practical sense and following the next card, which would be the Ace of Swords. And again, swords are all about, aces are about that change in the beginning of things. I do feel with the Ace of Swords, this is where you are, this is really where you are able to see clarity, see things, obtain some victories, and there's truth and more awareness here that's coming through. And again, with the Knight of Pentacles, that could also be the message that there's a closer connection to spirit, or that you're able to take action now, and move ahead with the swords. But it is overall general energy for the month of May that you're winning some battles here. There's some victory, there's achievement, there's new beginnings. Maybe that the truth hurt on some front, but that there is success here as well. And just take hold of it. You're improving your reality all around. With the final card, there is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is all about that collaboration. It's also about, you learning a new skill. And again, it can be a card of self-employment as well. This is dedication, creatively using your talents, and that you've worked hard, and that there's a focus here that also involves other people, to help you to become masterful at what you're doing. So last three cards are just advice cards, and these are the Archangel cards. So Archangel Power Tarot is the Two of Gabriel. So it says, make bold and ambitious choices, and great progress is possible. Important relationships with people who share your vision. So it's about finding your tribe. It's about connecting with people that actually have a similar vision. Just that you're making progress. There might be a little bit of a pause in action, as I mentioned, because these are general cards or advice cards. There is a bit of a pause in action. But you're asserting yourself and you're getting yourself moving again. You're not letting that indecision keep you from moving forward. And again, there was some stagnancy and some indecision here with the Two of Swords at the beginning. So definitely you have some periods of uncertainty, but there are some important relationships that are possible now. So you're partnering up with people that share your outlook and passion. So I don't know if there's some kind of a club or something that you're belonging to or connecting yourself to that helps you to grow. And there's attention that's being drawn to you because of that. Okay, then there's the Queen of Gabriel. Queens are generally about the details. This is, you can do anything right now. Go after what you want, the ability to attract helpful people. So again, there's more of that collaboration. There's more of you getting out there and connecting with others. So again, there was a pause, toward the earlier part of May, but you're coming out of that. You're a charming person that everybody really likes, and this is about you creating balance in your life again. And you're becoming more independent, more passionate, you're busy, you're confident, you're feeling brilliant. You're feeling as though you're starting to follow through on the things that you want. And again, it's a card of good health. So again, Queens are all about those details and making things happen. You've got the Four of Michael. So that's also an advice card for the month of May. Insights, general energy, insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, and seek relief from stress. So it does feel like, again, because toward the end of May, you are going to be encountering some challenges there. I feel that you do have some need to pull back and self-heal, because with the Four of Michael, like I said, I mean, it's about you growing from a situation during those times of challenge, and but it's also about you taking a break. You need to step back to move 2 steps forward. So the key to a successful solution is just to listen to spirit, listen for some of those epiphanies, get enough sleep, but you are on the mend. It is a time for you just to make time for you. And it's also, again, it can speak to taking a vacation. So I feel, because there's several cards here that relate around that you must be entertaining some thoughts of that. Whether the plans are something that you are just debating at this point, I feel that there's some consideration to it. Anyway, that is what I've got for the month of May, Taurus, and hopefully that gave you a little insight as to what to expect for the month of May. Again, you've got monies coming through, you've got projects started, you're pulling back when you need to, and then you're going forward, with great insight. With the Star card repeating, you've also got a lot of choices here with the Seven of Cups repeating. With the Nines, you're taking action. With the Swords, you've got some clarity. You have collaboration with Three of Pentacles. And I wouldn't let that little glitch at the end here, for some kind of relationship or partnership issue or with children of some sort, throw you off. I would just heed what you say and your reaction, because I think you can keep it small or you can make it big, whatever that difficulty is. But there's still some things that need to be revealed and able for you to completely end a cycle here throughout the earlier part of May. But it is going to lead you to some kind of financial success and gain. And definitely there's, again, a little bit of a windfall of money that's coming through. I don't know if you play the lotto or if there's some kind of inheritance, or you're creating a project that's going to be that's going to come to fruition and down the road become a great legacy that will bring you great reward. But you do have a lot of strong, powerful cards that are impactful here, major arcana cards, and again, like the Wheel of the Year, these are all cards that moving in your favor toward success. So again, with the Knight of Pentacles, there might be some slow-moving energy to that clarification, on what you should do and how you should go about resolving something. But overall, great cards. We will talk to you in the month of June. Take care. Stay safe.